Hello and welcome to the Lordly Verdict with me, Mitchell, Lord of my domain. Unfortunately, I've actually had to reduce my domain. The couch was too expensive, so I've decided to make it a timeshare. Sadly, you won't get to see who has the timeshare because, well, I don't have the budget for it. Anyway, now to my review. The last review I discussed was Evil Within. And I didn't really like it that much, but I figure that was a bit unfair to Mikami-san. I might as well show a game that shows, well, how to do survival horror and avoids the flaws that made Evil Within so problematic. See, the problem with Evil Within is that it forgot what makes the genre work, and the extra stuff that it adds just serves as gunk. The best way to explain how it works is to go back to the beginning, the game that started it all, the game that pretty much established at least half of the tropes of survival horror, the rest going to Silent Hill. With the latest remake recently created, it is time for Resident Evil. Okay, hard to get the voice down without a voice changer. Ugh. Yes, we will be discussing Resident Evil. Now, due to a minor issue, I won't go too much into it, at least with the story. See, turns out I kind of suck at survival horror games. But that honestly leads to the first thing that I like about the game. This game makes it fun to fail. You don't fail because the game is being unfair. You don't fail because the game is punishing you. You don't fail because of a cheap death trap that doesn't give you time to react. You fail because you did something wrong. You can tell what you did wrong, and when you try again, you can fix what you did wrong. Even the sudden death traps are surprisingly fair. See, hold on one second. Yes, that was one of my friends. I should have turned off aim. It has sudden death traps. However, they aren't instant death traps. And even if they are, they're well foreshadowed and have a simple trigger. You pick up an item in an area that says, "Warning! This may be dangerous." It causes a trap to activate. You put the item back, the trap deactivates. Logic puzzles are generally quick and easy, and don't require a guide to get through and aren't random. You don't have to search all across the room for this one little thing. You just have to have the right item on you, and if you do it wrong, you get to try again without having to go back to your save file. Even the harder ones later in the game still do a good job of telling you you've got it right and you've got it wrong, without having you suddenly stabbed with 1,000 knives from out of nowhere. Just read all the files, look over things, it'll go great. It also uses foreshadowing. See, the big death trap is a false key in a room full of knight armors. The room that it's in, if you look around, every single statue says, "Embrace your death. Woe to he who survives, who escapes the slumber. Danger, Will Robinson, danger." The other one, the infamous Jill sandwich scene, you hear the trap trigger and go click the minute you pick up the shotgun that triggers it. You get a good chance to put it back. The player has to feel like there was a hint this was going to happen to be fair. They have to be able to recognize the pattern. It's the difference between I Want to Be the Guy and Super Meat Boy. The player has to feel that they stood a chance. In I Want to Be the Guy, the game works by being unfair. The first puzzle establishes a pattern and breaks it just to cause a gratuitous death. With Super Meat Boy, the game slowly ramps up from simple puzzles to more and more complex, where every complex puzzle relies on moves that you used previously, The player has to feel like they stood a chance, and I've already said that. Resident Evil does well with that pattern. Traps well work and are well foreshadowed. And other things are well done too. Slow zombies are actually menacing, and you don't see that nowadays. They pulled a cheap shot to do it, but it works. See, they took out something that every modern game relies upon. You can't control your aim. You can't run and shoot. It's kind of cheap, but it's in part due to technical limitations. And it works. The only way to handle zombies is to stand in one place and go bam, 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 and hope you get a lucky headshot or pump 4 or 5 shots into them. You have to use a good clip on zombies. They do balance it out though, because the main zombies are actually optional to fight, at least until you get enough ammo that you can handle things. I'm not kidding. First zombie you meet, you can just run backwards and it's killed in a cinema. The rest, especially for the early game, can be avoided by just running and sneaking past them. There's no stamina gauge, and the latest remake actually gives you the options of removing what are nicknamed the tank controls. See, in the original, forwards moved your character in the direction they were facing, and pressing side to side just had them turn. As they said, it controls like a tank. But, well, there's no stamina gauge, so at least you can keep running once you start running. And the other trick they do? Claustrophobic corridors. Evil Within is a very open game. You can have like 5 people in one single corridor. In this, 1 person to a corridor, maybe 2. So to get past a zombie, you have to lure it and then run past it without giving it time to grab you, and you can do it. Or you can just shoot it, which wastes precious, precious ammo that zombies don't drop. Nope. Ammo, health recharge, and even defensive items, they're all limited. Even saving is limited, as each save uses a precious ink ribbon. You get plenty of them, enough that if you don't waste them, you can lose minimal progress, but you're encouraged not to waste them. The game's smart enough to make it avoid being not unwinnable as well. You can beat the whole game with just a knife, and in fact, there's the achievement for it. Furthermore, death means something. There are safe rooms strewn about the mansion which have additional ammo and an item chest. Your associates are also nice enough to also grant you additional ammo, so you don't have to worry too much about running out enough that you can't even use the handgun. You'll be able to use the handgun. See, items are limited in that there's not a lot of them there, but they're also limited because you have 8 spaces in your inventory. You have to have a weapon, ammo, maybe a med kit, and if you want to burn the bodies to make sure the zombies stay dead, you need a lighter and lighter fluid, and oh boy. You may even want to skip out on the med kits, both official and just green herbs, and maybe you can make it. Boss battles, especially in easy, aren't too difficult, and the first one even gives you an NPC to go with you if you're smart. And you have to be smart in this game. You don't just follow the rails and keep going forwards. You have to explore and figure out something. And the game's actually really open. It's a large mansion with a lot of places to go, and you can go wherever you want as long as you found the item you need to unlock the area. Especially if you play as Jill, who is the master of unlocking. So, this establishes a bit of a pattern to how the game. You explore the mansion, find the clues, find the friends who you've left behind, even if Most of them are kind of dead. Find notes that gives you hints of what happened, so you can get insight into how the mansion came. It's large enough that there's a lot of stuff to look at. It only grows larger as you find more things to discover. Your map actually marks out whether or not an area has items you still need to find or if you've cleared it out. The game even tells you when a scenario item's useless, so you can just toss it aside. Even with the keys, which is really nice because you have to have them. This is a game where you're cautious. You find a safe place, get your breath, head out, find only what you need, grab it, run backwards to the safe house, put extra items in the thing, recover your ammo and reload, head out again. In a nice touch, the enemies are limited too. So, if you're actually killing all the zombies you see, you won't get more zombies except via cinemas. In which case, once you get farther in the game, get more ammo, they have more stronger zombies come up by crashing through the windows where you go, holy crud, holy crud. You try to find what to do next, avoid the zombies, get better weapons, survive. This is what makes it a survival game. Each fight is a challenge. You have to adapt to stronger and stronger enemies. Even a dog can be hard to fight since you have to get used to the aiming. And I'll say this, it has a dang good auto aim. As for the story, it won't win any awards. This isn't exactly a deep character piece like some other games. This is not Silent Hill 2 here, which is probably one of the best character piece horror games ever. And the big deal with the game is it's not overloaded. You can beat the game in about 5 hours or even less, actually. You can beat it in 3 if you really, really hurry. Which means it never flounders. It never has that area where you feel like you should have cut half the game out. The characters are flat and one-dimensional, but at least they don't just sit there. It keeps moving. Every scene with the characters adds a little bit more. Not background, but serious something's going on. Barry's actually one of the characters with a bit of depth, primarily because he, has a background, which no one else has. Unfortunately, the characters aren't exactly memorable except for the big bad who's fun, albeit not in that well-written way, sort of that B-movie charm. But it does have some nice lines. The files, especially the infamous itchy, tasty files, add some nice stuff to it. And the scary scenes of zombies sneaking up on you are genuinely scary, and the window crashes scene made me go, holy crud, this is too much, guys, for me to handle. And I ran like a sissy little girly boy because I picked Jill first. And the scariness of the cutscenes match the in-game difficulty. And as I said, the horde of zombies breaking through the windows is one of the best done scenes I've seen. And it's well paced and got a few legitimate twists. There's a reason this is classic. It's a fun game and it's worth the $20. And the new port, it's a darn good port that keeps what makes the game great while removing the minor flaws, and it keeps the flaws that actually make the game precious. This is a 5 out of 5, and I'm honestly tempted to say that it breaks the rating scale to a 6 out of 5. I strongly recommend playing this game right now. You've still actually even got a few days for other games to be on sale, and I picked them all up. This game shows how to do a survival horror game and do it well. As I said again, I rate this game a solid 5 out of 5. Go buy it now. Don't wait. It's on the PSN store. Just It's on computer. Get it. Have fun. And be scared.